A quick update on the Big Brother 26 house. We had the veto play out, and I guess we actually have to start by talking about Cam winning the veto. So, look, Cam for so long in this game looked like he was trying to downplay his target. And we all shit on him. A lot of us shit on him anyway. And I stand by shitting on him. But it is nice to see that maybe his laying low was all he was actually trying to do. He comes out, wins a veto, beats Tucker in a veto, and I think he deserves credit for that. I still stand by what I said the last 2 days, though, is that in doing this the way he did it, his social game suffered. So now he is trying to reconnect within the house, and he has to catch up on weeks of his social game kind of dying a slow death because he wasn't watering the plants, if you will, with his social game. But it is good to see him win, and he and Chelsea have been trying to do their little plan to get closer to people in the house. They're trying to rebuild their own games. And I think Cam having Chelsea as someone who is great at the strategic part of this game and at the social part of this game is good for Cam's game. Now, Cam said he was going to make a final two with Tucker, or strengthen his final two with Tucker, and he did just that. I don't know if Chelsea completely loves it, because now Cam is saying that Tucker's not going to go home no matter who he's against, and Cam doesn't want to vote against Tucker. If that's the case, and Chelsea thinks, because she's the smartest person in the house, that Tucker going this week is best for everyone's games because he is this big threat down the line. I guess the argument can be made that for Cam's game now that he has won a competition, Tucker can be a shield for him too, just like he kind of is for Joseph, just like maybe Tucker can be for Chemo and T-Core, I guess. But if that's the case, then I once again question Cam's whole game. If he went this entire time to lower his target while not watering the plants of his social game, why then go out and win this competition? I mean, I get why, because he's actually on the block. So he did need the veto. He was in trouble last week. But his game, to me, still kind of dead in the water. I still need a lot more from Cam. I'm glad he's finally playing, even though it took 6 weeks. But I guess better late than never, right? So that leaves T-Core having to make a renom. And as I discussed yesterday, before the veto, she was considering it being Leah if Cam or MJ came off the block. And some of her strongest allies like Rubina and Chemo agree with that. Tucker also agrees with that. Tucker and Rubina have continued their little showmance more publicly since the AI instigator kind of outed them as the showmance, even though they were already kind of being outed more and more. I mean, Tucker was telling MJ and Leah that he and Rubina are like sisters. So now, of course, MJ and Leah are looking at Tucker like, you're just a big liar. A lot of it from Leah, though, continues to be her jealousy, where the Rubina and Tucker's situation and showmance is. Leah gets all these attention from the guys in the house, except for Tucker, the one she wants attention from. And I think her jealousy with Rubina is a big blind spot for Leah. Not that Leah's, playing very hard, but I will say that last night, for the very first time in this game, in my opinion anyway, Leah actually started to attempt to do some game maneuvering. You know, we're almost halfway through the season, but I guess, sort of like Cam, better late than never, Leah got all her crushes in a room, all the people that have crushes on her in a room, Quinn, Joseph, and Cam. Though I will say Cam less so these days. I don't think Cam and Leah have that same flirtmance they had in the first 2 weeks, because Leah stupidly fumbled that. If Leah had been thinking this way since the beginning of the game, that all these guys have a crush on her and she could use it in the game, it would be pretty epic. It's something that America was trying to do last season and failed at doing, all that did for America last year was gain a booger-eating boyfriend and did nothing for her in the game. But Leah could have used Cam, Quinn, and Joseph for her game movements, which is now what she's trying to do. She's trying to get Quinn, Joseph, and Cam to fight for her to keep her off the block, which is smart of Leah. Now the problem is their all main target is to try and convince T-Core to put Angela on the block. And well, I do think T-Core might listen to an extent. The biggest problem is that her closest allies, Chemo and Rubina, are pretty much on the put up Leah train. Another problem is that they are trying, Chemo and T-Core have been trying to get Quinn further and further away from Leah. And this is where Quinn loses me yet again, because, earlier this week I was talking about how it would be nice to see Quinn try and have some sort of comeback, try and make up for his total failure in this game so far. But if Quinn's not going to change his stupid ways, I'm not going to sit here and root for him to do so. Quinn knows that Leah has felt some type of way about him, and that if he was thinking for once, he would know that Leah is just using him again now. But once again, Quinn seems gung-ho to protect Leah, along with Joseph, who also has a crush on Leah, about trying to keep her off the block and try and convince T-Core to put up Angela. Quinn was going pretty hard with Chemo last night about this, about how Angela should be the one put up. And I think this could just once again backfire on Quinn where Chemo and T-Core are concerned. Quinn does all this crying about how he was just going to be so loyal to the Visionaries, and then they went and made a move without him. And that's not completely true. They tried to talk to Quinn about that move that week when they flipped the vote onto Cedric, and Quinn wanted no part of it. And sure, Quinn couldn't vote anyway, but Quinn turned that down because Quinn wanted to strike when Quinn wanted to strike. But that's the problem with alliances. You don't always get your way, and if you're not going to go along with them, T-Core and Chemo decided to do their own thing. And I do think Quinn's biggest problem is with Chemo, as it should be, because Chemo was the original one that told Tucker Quinn's information about the power. So, yeah, Quinn has the right to be upset with Chemo with that, but if Quinn's going to continue to make the same mistakes with Chemo and give Chemo all this information that could backfire onto Quinn when Leah has already been told, when it's been already been told to Quinn that Leah's just playing him, I just can't feel sorry for Quinn if this backfires on him again. I think Quinn's never going to learn in this game, and I think it's about time I stop giving him any chances, I suppose. It's funny because Brooklyn got out of this game and was talking about how Quinn's playing the best game. And that's crazy to me, but a lot of times looking in on this game, it's easy to see all the maneuvering going on in the house and who's doing good and who's doing bad. A lot of the first jury members, and thankfully Brooklyn's not a jury member if she's thinking that way, but sometimes a lot of the first jury members in these games, even the games I do on this channel, they're so lost about what's actually going on in the game because they were either blindsided or they made a lot of mistakes that got them in the predicament to be voted out. So it's easy to see why Brooklyn thinks that about Quinn. But, a lot of times perception is reality in that house. And that brings me to my next topic. So, where Quinn is concerned, I think he's making a bunch of mistakes. I still think there's a lot of people in that house that thinks he's smart, though, so at least he has that perception, even though he's done nothing but be dumb. But where Chemo's perception is in that house is starting to be that he is Tucker's minion. And that's a fact. Chelsea being the main one to call that out to Leah and MJ about how she's even afraid to talk to T-Core because T-Core is going to probably tell Chemo information and then Chemo's going to tell Tucker. It's not a good look for Chemo. And the further this goes on in the game, where he just continues to be Tucker's minion, the less of a chance he has to win the game. Because if that's with the perception of his in of him is in the end, then how is Chemo going to get a winning vote if he just looks like Tucker's minion? It's a trap more people could fall in where the Tucker situation is concerned. You know, Joseph thinks he could beat Tucker in the end, but if the perception of Joseph is that he didn't do much at the end, how is he going to beat Tucker? The only thing Joseph and Quinn actually have going on right now is their alliance with each other. They talk a lot of game with each other. They just have lost a lot of agency in that house socially, both of them. At one point, Joseph seemed like he was gaining some of the most agency in that house, just like a week or two ago. But now I feel like he's just maneuvering closer and closer to Quinn and Tucker being his only real allies, because Leah's always going to throw these boys under the bus. She has started to throw Joseph under the bus, just like she did Cam in the first place, just like she's done to Quinn many times. The other funny thing is that Quinn last night so gung-ho about how he's going to make sure Angela's on the block, and even though this is not his HOH, it's Ticor's HOH, but he's going to make sure that Angela's on the block and not Leah. And over the past 24 hours, Leah's been pitching Quinn to go up on the block. So it's like, Quinn, once again, you just look like a dumb loser. Angela also completed her overnight task last night that kept her up for hours, having to walk back and forth and put balls in a bin. I don't love these punishments. They don't do anything for me. But maybe that also saves Angela from being put up on the block this week. Because even if somehow there's a strong pitch to Ticor that Angela should be put up on the block, I don't know if Ticor would do it after last night's situation. Even though Ticor doesn't really like Angela, and I can't blame her for not liking Angela. Like, as a viewer, Angela was fun to watch. I think she's gone very stale. I think her shtick is stale as hell. Because it's mostly just victim noises now. It's not a whole lot of fun paranoia like it was at first. But if I was in that house with Angela, I don't think I would like her either. Especially after that whole situation where Angela went crying to Ticor about the perception of Angela after she thought all the black people were working together. I could understand why Ticor does not really like Angela that way. But I still don't know if Ticor would put up Angela this week over Leah. Only because a lot of her strongest allies also want Leah on the block now too. Chelsea and Ticor are supposed to start talking more game together. Maybe Chelsea's the one that can persuade Ticor from putting Leah up on the block. Chelsea is trying to keep numbers around that benefit her, although I don't think Leah benefits anyone. That's where a lot of people are going wrong. Leah's not playing this game hard enough for her to truly benefit anyone. And she's not really even a number for anyone, because the littlest thing can make her feel some type of way about you. The best thing they have going if they keep Leah around is that Leah doesn't like the whole Tucker and Rubina showmance, and so she wants Tucker or Rubina out of the house. So I think that's something Chelsea wants to use where Leah is concerned. If Leah is up on the block, her or MJ can easily be the target. Even though, like I said a couple days ago, if Tucker's up on that block and that house does not vote him out on Thursday, if it's Tucker against someone else, most of them are going to look very dumb. They had the opportunity to take him out and they don't do it. I do think that would be a mistake for the majority of people's games in that house. But if they don't have the numbers, they don't have the numbers. I'm trying to think if I have anything else I wanted to talk about over the past 24 hours, but I think I covered everything I cared to talk about. So now we just have to wait for the renom. When Cam takes himself off the block, we'll see if Quinn is able to save Leah, his damsel in distress that doesn't like him at all. We'll see if he's able to do that or if he just further buries his game with Chemo and Ticor. Also, if you have yet to check out my online version of Survivor, Online Survival 4, the premiere is out now right here on this channel. There is a new episode on Tuesday, so catch up now. In the meantime, here is the preview for Tuesday night's episode.
But that girl is like so two-faced and shady as
Yeah.
F.
That's why I was like, oh, I need to talk to these two and see where we're all at.
I feel being in the best of both worlds kind of works to my advantage. Who would you vote out first? Like,
A coin toss between either Muggsy or Darstar.
Like, I don't know, we all seem to be getting along, our team, but it just didn't seem like they had bonded at all. Maybe.
That's where my loyalty is right now, and to you guys, so I have your back. Obviously, it goes without saying that I won't be voting you guys out.
With teams being as short as they are, I don't know that the whole group, big team alliance is going to work, because at some point, somebody's on the outside looking in. You can't have a full team of alliances. We're basically leaving one person out.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm probably gonna be a little bit of a villain this season, but I kind of want to make it where it's like, I mean, like, you and I are like the alliance, and